We're about to start the live stream.
I think, sorry, John's having issues. Right, that's it started.
Well, welcome everybody to the Special Angus Licensing Board. I would like to remind all attendees that the meeting is being recorded and webcast live on the Council's YouTube channel. If we start with item 1, apologies for absence. Do we have any apologies?
There's no apologies, Convener.
Item 2, declarations of interest and statements of transparency. Do we have any? None. Takes us on to item 3. That's one, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
Item 3, premises licence, notice of conviction, and it is Morrison's, pages 3 to 9. If we, members of the board will have actually read the papers, so if we can actually start by maybe inviting Richard Taylor from Crosschocks. Are you there, Richard?
I am. Good morning.
Would you like to speak to the board?
Thank you, Your Honours. Yes. Well, first things first. Thank you very much indeed for agreeing to deal with us remotely. It is a very wet Yorkshire out of the window. As far as these offences are concerned, Morrison's was convicted of 3 offences, contrary to the Health and Safety at Work Act, and pleaded guilty to 1 at Gloucester Crown Court and was sentenced on the 17th of March. We submitted the Section 43 notification as we are required to do. And just to expand on my letter that I hope you've read and found useful, these charges follow a tragedy, and it was a tragedy that took place at the Tewkesbury store about 9 years ago. It was September 2014, when one of our employees who suffered from epilepsy is assumed to have had a seizure on the stairs that led up to the staff facility. It was unwitnessed. He fell, we believe, and these circumstances are absolutely specific to the Tewkesbury store. At that store, the staff lockers and facilities are on the 1st floor. Now at Arbroath, they're on the ground floor. And the charges arose from the company's failure to relocate our former colleague's locker from the 1st floor to the ground floor, or have a policy requiring that he didn't use the staircase, but instead he uses the lift to the staff facilities. It is very, very important to say that this particular employee hadn't asked for any special treatment, and indeed evidence was given at the trial that he didn't want to be treated differently to anybody else. As far as the trial was concerned, there was no suggestion of any systemic failure as far as Morrison's was concerned. There was no the company-wide health and safety procedures were accepted as good. And evidence was given at the trial that Morrison's makes significant efforts to address the risks arising from the employment of epileptic employees. This was just a tragic accident. The company, Your Honours, was fined £3.5 million. The level of fine is in England determined by by reference to turnover, hence the level of the fine. And it's important to say that that there is an application for leave to appeal the convictions with the Criminal Appeals Office. So, Your Honours, an absolute tragedy. But isolated incident specific to that particular store, no suggestion of any systemic failures indeed, and I'd invite you to find that the grounds for review aren't established and Morrison's remains a fit and proper person to hold a premises licence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. I'll now move do we have some from Police Scotland?
I don't think so, because I think it's English conviction.
All right. Just to check, we don't have anyone online from Police Scotland to talk to this.
Yes, I could speak to the confirmation that we submitted a letter just confirming the convictions that have been detailed by Mr. Taylor.
Okay, thank you. Members of the board will have actually seen the letter and read the letter. I'll now move to any questions that board members may have.
Thank you, Convener. Yeah, I just wanted to ask, I appreciate that you say that there were no suggestions of any systemic failures, but do you know if Morrison's has undertaken any sort of health and safety audits since this incident? Because as you say, it was an isolated incident. However, you were too careful with workplace health and safety. So I just wondered if there had been any sort of audit of procedure and things like that taking place since then.
Mr. Taylor?
Well, the answer is yes. The company has a dedicated occupational health and assessment team, has specific policies on managing disability in the workplace, and that is always ongoing. It is always risk assessed. Obviously, they went back to the circumstances. It's all been reviewed, and any changes that needed to be made have been made.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any comments? Okay, with that in mind, if there are no additional comments and no other questions, we'll ask for, sorry, I'll move to the recommendation. Just let me catch up with myself. Page 3. Okay, the recommendation is A, make a premises licence, oh, so sorry, we've actually done that. B, oh sorry, A, make a premises licence review proposal, or B, to take no further action in relation to the conviction. Councillor Melville.
Thank you, Convener. I would like to move that we advance recommendation B. I think there's very little for us to do in this circumstance, and given what the representative has said about reviewing health and safety and that being an ongoing picture, I think I'm fairly satisfied on that part.
Councillor Whiteside. And no, we're okay. So with that, are there any amendments? No. Okay. With that, thank you very much, Mr. Taylor. We have decided, or the board has decided, to take no further action.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, members. Given that we have the policy statement and so on to deal with, I've made a decision that we will actually hear the case of Mr. Brown at this stage. Is that okay with everyone? Yes. Okay.
Premises licence one, or is it the personal one?
Yeah,
do you want to stop?
Yeah. Also, I would suggest at this stage of the meeting that we stop the live stream, but continue to record the remainder of the board business, which will be made available for viewing should this be requested. The reason for this is to avoid possible disclosure of sensitive information. Is this agreed? Yep. We'll just stop the live stream now.
John, could you stop the live stream?